Hi, friends. Welcome back to Live with Roxy. Thought I'd say it a little different today. Instead of Roxy, it's Roxy. Who knows why? Mixing it up. It's fucking Monday. What does that mean? It means we're starting another week in quarantine. It means new opportunities for new ways to look at the world. It means refocusing your energy. It means, holy shit, we have a long week ahead. So it means a lot of things. But happy Monday to all of you guys here, all of you rock stars. And no matter what, we're going to get through it together. This I know. We had a lot to talk about today. I decided that after yesterday's show, it seemed like in the comments, you guys really liked the Roxy's advice section. So who knows how it is, but I'm going to kind of, towards the end of the show, maybe wrap up with some wisdom more often. Take it or leave it. Who knows if I've got my ducks in a row or if I'm somebody you should be taking advice from, but I'll give it a go and you guys can give me things too and we can see how that works. We also have a ton of news that took place today. Mandy Moore was responding to the public apology from Ryan Adams. If you don't know why or what, don't worry, I'll break it down for you and we can talk about all of that. Nick Cordero passed away after months and months of complications with COVID. So if you don't believe in COVID, you can officially go fuck yourself. Colin Kaepernick signed a first look deal with Disney, which I'm really excited about and can't wait to discuss what that means and what Colin Kaepernick's very bright future looks like. Ray Fisher continues to speak out. He's been taking to Twitter more and more and using this accountability over entertainment sign off for a lot of his tweets. So we can kind of discuss what he's been saying and working on. And then Stargirl is moving from DCU to just CW. It was already on CW, but it is planting itself on CW only now. And what does that mean for DC Universe? It might sound like something small, but I actually think it probably is the sign of something larger that we can talk about. And then how could it be a show Live at the Roxy if we don't talk about Trump today? Because fucking Trump and his Twitter. Some shows I just want to spend the entire time reading a day of Trump's tweets. But then I feel like I would get much dumber. Trump wants Bubba Wallace to apologize. That was Bubba is the NASCAR driver. I'll read you guys the tweet. You can't make this shit up. So all of that and more. And at the end of the show, like I said, I got a couple of words of wisdom prepped for you guys. Is that a new segment? Who knows? Also, don't forget, guys, if you are in here live with me, feel free to super chat. Or if you're watching this live or after the fact, go to streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer if you want your comment to be read live on air. Even if you don't do it live during the show, I will read it for the next nearest show, unless you write something like private and you just wanted me to get the message, which a couple people have done. So I did see your messages and I appreciate you guys reaching out. But we do have a Streamlabs from between yesterday's show and today. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Mason Allen said, "Hi, Roxy. I sent you a message on Instagram as I couldn't fit everything I wanted to say in here. I know you can't reply to messages, but but that wasn't the point. Just hoped it would put a smile on your face." I got your message, Mason Allen, as I see all of the messages, and I really appreciated it. So thank you for writing that and taking those screen grabs because I know it was too long for even an Instagram message. But thank you. I really do appreciate that. And your kind words mean a lot to me, especially during this time when I'm not getting many kind words and instead I'm getting my heart ripped to shreds. So thank you. And I appreciate it. And I love you guys lots. Also in the super chat, let's check in with our boy PLD. Paul Denuzio says, "I've been either working or streaming for about 24 hours, so I'm fading, but I want to show some love." Paul, you always show love, and just you being here means a lot. Wow, working or streaming for 24 hours. Damn, you busy. That's a lot. Rooting for you, PLD, always, and thanks for showing support. physically and financially and all of the above ways. Matthew W. says Stargirl is going to get renewed by CW. It's just going to turn into the other DC shows already on there. LOL. Well, it did get picked up for a second season, and we will talk about that. Yeah. Also, some of you guys are talking about Ennio Morricone passing away in the chat, and also Charlie Daniels passed away today. So it's a sad day for music for both of those reasons, with one of the biggest composers and one of the biggest country stars. Yeah. Today, as I was putting together the show, I was like, how do I make this not the most depressing show when Nick Cordero and Charlie and Ennio all passed away? Sometimes you lose a lot of people in one day. Sometimes you do. And it makes you value life and hopefully remember, none of us are invincible, and we really have to do everything we can to protect our lives and other people's lives. And all of them dying for different reasons, but really fucking sad. So yeah, we can talk about any of that stuff that you guys want to talk about as well. Just let me know in the Streamlabs or in the super chat, and we'll make sure we add it to the run of show today. How fancy am I? The run of show. That's not that fancy, Rox. Cool. Going back into the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Weston Ira said, in the partial words of a fellow misunderstood dude, silver and gold have I none, but such as I have, I donate to the Roxy woman. Weston, I adore you. Don't get you, but adore you. Clearly, you've outgrown a large number of your ex-subscribers, so your real, non-snowflakey audience awaits. Top DC show theme. Well, thank you, Weston. I appreciate you. Top DC show theme. What do you mean theme? Like the theme of the show? Always love. My top theme of any show is love. Love and loyalty. Which I guess we'll talk about later on in the show, by the way. That's a tease. Doing my job. Or unless you mean theme, like theme song, a lot of them don't have theme songs. I mean, like Flash. That's a good one. Trying to think of it's more like sounds. Yeah. Let me know what you mean. Glenn Caesar in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Why couldn't I just pronounce my own name? It happens. Oh yeah, Smallville too has a good one. Very good one. Hello, Roxy. Love you. Thanks for hanging out with us today. I hope you and all the Rockstars band have a love-filled Monday. Much love, hugs, good vibes, and bunnies to all of you who need it. By the way, the I need PJs, but I'm already in bed pic was funny. Been there. Oh my God, I'm there so often. But I did get up and I did wash and I did do all my face routine and I did do my hair twists and whatever I've been doing. So I did get up and change. It was just like, oh, I don't want to fucking move. Stone Fanboy says, hey, Roxy, hope you had a great holiday weekend. Looking amazing as always, kicking butt and taking names as usual. Still wishing to see you in Star Wars Frozen in Carbonite with your cute pose. Keep up the good work, friend. Thank you, Stone Fanboy. I really appreciate that. And I appreciate all of you guys for joining me here live at the Roxy today. You guys are just killer rock stars, and you already know that. So I don't even need to remind you. Smallville was great. Yeah, totally. The Legends one. The Legends is a cool opening sequence, but I don't know about their theme song. Kind of just sounds, right? Gotta go back and look. All right. Let's get into it, guys. Let's open up with this Mandy Moore topic because Mandy Moore responded to a public apology from Ryan Adams. For those of you guys who don't know, Ryan Adams, the musician, singer, is Mandy Moore's ex-husband. And Ryan Adams was accused a few years ago of, what would that be? Sexual misconduct? Of using his power to entice women to be with him, and if they wouldn't be with him, this was like 7 different women came forward. If they wouldn't be with him, then he would put like a hit out on their career and try to actively keep them from succeeding. That's what we were told by many different women. And Mandy Moore came forward and talked about how manipulative he was and emotionally abusive he was to her. I believe that was in 2016. Now the Daily Mail issued a public apology from Ryan Adams. He didn't specifically name people, but he was talking about all of the women that he had wronged in his past, and he wanted to apologize, and he wanted it to be very clear that this was a real apology, unlike some of his previous fake apologies, and he wanted to be known this time was different, and that he knew a lot of people wouldn't believe him, but this was real, and that he'll never be off the hook for his harmful behavior, but he really truly is sorry, and he understands what he did wrong, and all of this stuff. Let me read some of it to you guys. There are no words to express how bad I feel about the way I've mistreated people throughout my life and career. All I can say is I'm sorry. It's that simple. The period of isolation and reflection had made me realize that I needed to make significant changes in my life. I've gotten past the point where I would be apologizing just for the sake of being let off the hook. And I know full well that any apology from me probably won't be accepted by those I've hurt. I get that. I also understand that there's no going back. And to a lot of people, this will just seem like the same empty bullshit apology that I've always used when I was called out. And all I can say is this time it is different. Having truly realized the harm that I've caused, it wrecked me, and I'm still reeling from the ripples of devastating effects that my actions triggered. There's no way to convince people that this time is truly different, but this is the albatross that I deserve to carry with me as a result of my actions. Realizing the consequences of my actions, I took a hard look inwards and sought to find the truth behind them. What pain was I carrying myself? That was so poorly and wrongfully being projected onto others. I made a promise to myself that no matter what it took, I would get to the root of these issues and finally start to fix myself so I could be a better friend, a better partner, and a better man overall. So he also talked about how he is sober now and being willing to confront this behavior and the hit that it took on his career, but him deserving it. Hoping that people find a way to forgive him and all of that. And like he said, I think he said he'd been sober for a year now. So you read that apology and it's like, I wonder how the women who have been wronged by him feel about this. I wonder what their take is on this, because it doesn't really matter what my take is on it as much. Although my take is kind of like, you kind of talked a lot about yourself. You didn't really talk much about them and what they might be going through. But really, it was kind of like, all right, that's his thoughts. Then on the Today Show, Mandy Moore was asked about the statement. And I don't know whether she was prepped or not. It seemed pretty off the cuff. But she was asked about it. And she said, essentially, it's strange that he didn't come to any of the people that he was apologizing to and instead made this a public apology. So she said, quote, "It's challenging because I feel like in many ways I've said all I want to say about him in the situation, but I find it curious that someone would make a public apology but not do it privately. I'm speaking for myself, but I have not heard from him. And I'm not looking for an apology necessarily, but I do find it curious that someone would sort of do an interview about it without actually making amends privately." That I completely agree with. That is like, absolutely. Do I believe that many people deserve second chances? Yes, I'm somebody who believes in second chances. I'm even somebody who believes in third chances. Fuck my life that I am somebody who does believe in that, but I am. But when it comes to this situation, how are you going to make a public apology when you haven't reached out? Like, even if you think about AA, the steps, when you're apologizing, you need to apologize to individuals. And so you've been sober for a year, but you haven't said anything to Mandy Moore and presumably to the rest of the women. Maybe you have spoken to some of them and just not to Mandy, although that would be strange because she's the one who's your ex-wife. But you haven't said anything to her, but you want to make this public apology? And in the public, you want to feel differently? I think that if you made a private apology first, then if you would like to make a public apology, that's okay. But if you really want to apologize to somebody in life, you don't. And this has been the thing with Sarah Jessica Parker and what's Samantha's name? You guys know who I'm talking about. Shit, I'm just blanking on her name right now. But their issues for years, where the actress who plays Samantha has been like, Sarah, pick up your phone and call me. Don't tweet at me an apology or Instagram at me an apology or Instagram at me that you're sorry for what I'm going through. Like, if you really want, Kim Cattrall, thank you. If you really want to apologize to somebody, you pick up the fucking phone or you show up. And by the way, so many of us deserve apologies from people. And I do find in life that at the end of the day, a lot of times you get them. And it might take years. But usually in life, if you really are owed an apology, at some point, you'll get it. And it might come out in a weird way. And it might not even come from or how or who or what you were thinking. But a lot of times we do get them. Last year, I got an apology from my high school boyfriend who I hadn't spoken to in a long time. He lives on an island now. And he was really fucking horrible to me. Really horrible to me. Cheated on me left and right, and a million other things, but really bad dude to me. And he sent me a message apologizing for how he treated me when we were kids and any of the emotional baggage that's carried with me. And I thought that was interesting because it probably weighed on him more than it weighed on me at this point. So I do think that a lot of us get the apologies that we are owed. And I have a couple people who owe me apologies right now, and I'm waiting. And I'll keep waiting because one day you will not be able to live with yourself without apologizing. And that's just the truth. But you also, on the flip side of that, think about if you owe anybody an apology. If you genuinely owe anybody an apology, because it's never too late to apologize. It might be too late for them to accept your apology, but it's never too late to apologize. And if you feel like you owe somebody an apology, then maybe give it to them. And think about that. I know that we're not on the Roxy advice, the words of wisdom, but it's never too soon or too late to, if you really mean it, to apologize. Never too soon or too late. And think about that. Even if you've done something recently or if you did something a long time ago, then it's a good time. Today is a good time to apologize. So I appreciate that Ryan Adams wanted to apologize, but publicly apologizing is not really apologizing to somebody. You got to reach out and you got to do it the hard way. Because you know what fucking sucks? What fucking sucks is swallowing your pride and picking up the phone and calling somebody and apologizing. It's really hard, but you got to do it if you want to be that kind of person in the world, which we'll talk about later on today, who you want to be in the world. That's the topic of conversation. So anyway, just so you guys know, I stand with Mandy more on this one in terms of it's curious that you would do it that way. How sorry could you really be if you're not going to pick up the phone and call? Pick up the fucking phone. So those are my thoughts on the Ryan Adams, Mandy Moore situation. What do you guys think? Make sure you leave a comment if you're watching this after the fact, or if you're live right now, let me know your thoughts right here in the super chat or the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Do you think it's okay to make a public apology before you apologize to somebody? Do you think his apology was genuine? Do you think that he should call Mandy and every single person who accused him? Or how should it be handled at this point if he genuinely is sorry? Would love to know your thoughts. Yeah, interesting. A lot of you guys talking about the apologies and whatnot. Totally. All right, guys, moving forward, let's talk about this is devastating news about Nick Cordero. For anybody who doesn't know, Nick Cordero is a Broadway star, and he was 41 and he died from COVID complications. I've been following the story, and I believe we actually spoke about it months ago on the show. Really fucking sad. This is why people who don't believe in COVID are nightmares. And just wear your fucking masks. But he was a Tony Award nominated musical actor. From everybody in the industry who knew him, he sounded like an incredible guy, and ridiculously talented. He had a wife and I believe a kid. Amanda Klutz is her name. And she posted a picture of him on Instagram and said, "God has another angel in heaven now. My darling husband passed away this morning. He was surrounded in love by his family, singing and praying as he gently left the earth. I'm in disbelief and hurting everywhere. My heart is broken as I cannot imagine our lives without him. Nick was such a bright light. He was everyone's friend, loved to listen, help, and especially talk. He's an incredible actor and musician. He loved his family and loved being a father and husband. Elvis and I will miss him in everything we do every day." To Nick's extraordinary doctor, Dr. David Wing. I don't know how you pronounce NG. I've always been bad at that. Sorry to my Vietnamese friends. You were my positive doctor. There are not many doctors like you, kind, smart, compassionate, assertive, and always eager to listen to my crazy ideas or call yet another doctor for me for a second opinion. You're a diamond in the rough. She goes on to say more and continues. But yeah, this has been a fight that's been going on for a long time. I believe he had to have his leg amputated. NG is pronounced Wen. Thank you. Dr. Wen then. He had been through the ringer, and it had been a long time. And first they thought that he had pneumonia. Then it was COVID. Then he was in the ICU for 18 days. Yeah, his leg was amputated. He went into septic shock. He had a lung infection. He had to put it in a pacemaker. There was just so many ups and downs. And one thing, his wife said one thing goes right, and then another thing goes wrong, and then that thing goes wrong, goes right, and then the thing that was right goes wrong. Can't even imagine. And now she's left to raise their kid without him, and it's fucking horrible. So I really feel for her. I feel for his family. I think that 41 is so young for this. We've heard about a lot of elderly people dying, but you just never know what the complications are going to be with different individuals. And there's plenty of people who are younger than 65 who this has taken them. So the least we can fucking do is wear a mask, send love and support. I saw so many celebrities reaching out about this, people who hadn't even met him, saying that they had heard great things about him. Just everybody who said anything is saying positive things. And now their son has to grow up without a dad, and just fucking horrible. It was looking like he was maybe in the clear, and then he just wasn't. So I've been watching some YouTube videos of him. Very, very talented, and seemed like larger than life, and like he had a beautiful world. I just feel awful for them. Awful. So rest in peace, and at least you did something really great with your life, and you made another life, and you touched people's worlds on Broadway, and you're leaving behind quite the legacy. But 41 is way too fucking young. Way too young. So rest in peace to Nick Cordero. And that's really all to say about that. If you guys have thoughts, memories, moments, if any of you guys saw him live or anything you want to say, please write it in the comments, Streamlabs, Super Chat, all that stuff. Let's talk about something pretty positive, because we could use a little bit of fuck yeah news after that story. In fuck yeah news, Colin Kaepernick signs a first look deal with Disney. Listen, Colin Kaepernick, man, he deserves these victories. He's been fighting the good fight for longer than a lot of people have been fighting the good fight. He put his ass and his career on the line to do the right thing. And I think he's pretty incredible. So I'm very happy to hear about this Disney partnership that was announced. There's going to be a feature that's a docuseries produced by ESPN as part of his first look deal with Walt Disney, because you guys know Disney owns ESPN. But the deal between Kaepernick's production arm, Raw Vision Media, and Disney was announced today. This is coming from ESPN. It says the partnership will focus on telling scripted and unscripted stories, so both, which is wild, that explore race, social injustice, and the quest for equality. It will also provide a platform to showcase the work of minority directors and producers, which is really great, talking about the other side of the camera. This was the quote from Kaepernick. He said, "I'm excited to announce this historic partnership with Disney across all of its platforms to elevate Black and brown directors, creators, storytellers, and producers, and to inspire the youth with compelling and authentic perspectives. I look forward to sharing the docuseries on my life story, in addition to many other culturally impactful projects we are developing." So even though since 2016, the NFL has not been his home, I think at the end of the day, he's really going to win. And I mean win as in succeed. People tried to keep him down and keep him from succeeding. And he was like, no, fuck you guys. And I think it's wonderful that he has this first look. And I love that they're doing scripted and non-scripted. Obviously, I'm excited for his docu-series. But I'm really excited to see what scripted work he wants to make. I don't know his creative brain. I don't know what he's capable of. We've seen a little bit of what he's capable of. We know he's a fighter. We know he's innovative. We know he thinks outside of the box. We know he's not afraid to be ballsy and not afraid to do the right thing. So who do I want working on projects and being somebody who's creating things right now and making stuff? Colin Kaepernick. That's who I want. And I'm excited to see. David says, I've never heard of this Colin guy. Really? I don't mean it like that, because I hate when people say that to me, like, you've never heard of. But Colin Kaepernick, the one who took the knee in the NFL, started a massive movement. If that's not familiar, that's kind of what happened. But yeah, I think it's very cool. And Disney's doing some riskier things than they were doing before. And I'm excited to see what they come up with and how many different projects and who's involved and the new names that come out of this, especially when he's talking about people of color as directors and as producers, giving them power positions. Really important, and something that I think is going to not just be a trend. It's going to be the new way of the future. Is that, like he said, he wants to elevate Black and brown voices, and that's what we fucking need. So, by the way, going back to, I know we've talked a little bit of music today. Going back to music, what an awesome Hamilton cover my friend Alex Marzonia did. I know, a little off topic, but I see him in the chat right now. Miss you, honey, and you did such a great job with this. And I feel like you really connected to it with your personal story. Just such a beautiful job, and you could feel the heart in it. Not giving away my shot, you know. I will tell you guys, you told me to tell you when I started Hamilton, or when I finished Hamilton. I am at the intermission right now. So I watched the first half last night at like 3 a.m. because I couldn't sleep, because I never fucking sleep. So I'm an hour and a half in, and holy shit, it is so good. I'm shocked that I was able to stop watching it to try to sleep, but it was like 5 a.m. and I needed to. But yes, Hamilton is excellent. That's what I'm talking about with Disney making some interesting moves, you know. Maybe they're, as a company, there obviously will still be PC things going on, but they're being a little ballsier, a little edgier. They're doing their damn thing. And yeah, go follow Alex on Instagram. He posted it, and on his YouTube, I believe. But it was really excellent. He's a phenomenal singer. And he also was playing instruments on the side, which was cool to see. I have no idea how people do that, but like, you play your own music and you loop everything together. Very fucking cool. Very, very fucking cool. Alex Marzonia, everybody. And the crowd goes wild. Woo! Woo! What did she just do? What? Let's talk about Ray Fisher. Ray Fisher continuing to speak out against not just Joss Whedon, but I want to say like the man. He's kind of sticking it to the man. He's taken to Twitter. He's done a couple of tweets that we haven't spoken about that I want to get to. In case any of you guys haven't been following the story, Ray Fisher is who played Cyborg in Justice League. He has talked about how Joss Whedon did not have good treatment over the cast. And here are a couple things that he has tweeted since we've spoken. Today, this morning, he tweeted, or an hour ago, some things are more important than self-preservation. Accountability over entertainment. Accountability over entertainment is something he signs a lot of his tweets with. But it's interesting. Some things are more important than self-preservation. When he says self-preservation, I wonder who he's talking about. Is he talking about John Berg and Jeff Johns, who haven't really, who are trying to hold up Joss Whedon's name? Is he talking about a different situation? Is this relevant? It's got to be. It's got to be related somehow. He also said, God bless at that Kevin Smith. That was 23 hours ago. And what I can tell you about that is that on Kevin Smith's, on Fat Man on Batman, Kevin Smith was talking to Mark Bernardin and was being pretty vocal about what he heard behind the scenes, saying that, basically corroborating that Joss was talking smack on set, which was pretty ballsy of Kevin Smith to do as well. So he kind of, because not many people have been coming forward, a lot of them are in contract still and haven't been able to have Ray Fisher's back, or for some reason haven't had his back. A lot of the co-stars, I don't think anybody said anything actually, but Kevin Smith essentially was like, yeah, no, I heard it, and was talking about Mark Bernardin about it. So that was kind of interesting. And so he tweeted at him saying, God bless Kevin Smith, which is awesome. He also, interestingly enough, retweeted a tweet from Colin Kaepernick and has been using his platform to really retweet and elevate the voices of a lot of other Black actors and actresses. So yeah, he's still, he's fighting the good fight right now. I adore Ray Fisher. I think he's really talented. And I am curious what happens here. I don't think that Warner Brothers / DC is going to be able to avoid this. I think they're going to have to. There's a couple things they're going to have to at some point say something about. The Ezra Miller situation. You guys are going to have to say something at some point. We're not going to forget. Oh yeah, Fat Man Beyond. Thank you. You're going to have to say something at some point. This situation with Joss Whedon and Jeff Johns and John Berg, they're going to have to say something at some point, because the times that we're in right now, you're not going to be able to have Ray Fisher come out and say something and then just brush it under the rug and hope people forget. I don't think you are. I think that they're going to have to address it. I wish that Ray Fisher would be a little more specific. I don't know. Maybe he can't because of legal purposes, or maybe he is being more specific behind the scenes and whatnot. But I would like some clarity at some point. And it's not mine to have, but if he's going to let us in a little bit, it would be nice to know more about what's going on. Going into the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Hold on, sips tea. There we go. Morse Code Z says, I was watching Hamilton this morning, stopped at the intermission because it was too close to Rockstar's time. I'm with you. Absolutely fantastic so far. Oh, it's so good. So good. And you're like, you think you might be the one person on the planet who doesn't like it. And you're like, what if I don't? And then you watch it and you're like, how could somebody not? It's so good. It's just so fucking good. Garth Harkness McMurray in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer says, at my 10-year high school reunion, some of my bullies acted like we were friends. They thought we were just having fun, but they traumatized me and made me contemplate suicide. I'll never get an apology from them because they don't realize how they hurt me. So that might be true. You might not get the apology. However, the fact that they were acting like you were friends means that somewhere inside them, they know they were wrong, because otherwise they wouldn't act like that. They would just leave you be. And the fact that they're acting like that shows that they are not big enough people to apologize, but are evolved enough, which it might even be just this much, to know that they fucked up. So that might be the apology that you get. But you never know. And you never know. You never know if you're going to get that apology. You just don't know. It seems like maybe not, but maybe just the fact that they were acting like you were friends shows that they even though they don't know specifically what they did wrong, and they can tell themselves, we were just having fun. People know. You know you were a shithead in the past if you were a shithead in the past. I believe that. I do. But Garth, I'm sorry that you aren't going to get that apology necessarily. Not saying everybody does, but a lot of people do. A lot of people at some point. Yeah. It just does happen at some point for people, even if it's years later. Stargirl, while we're talking about DC, let's talk about Stargirl. Stargirl's not going to be on DC Universe anymore. It was picked up for a second season, which is cool. I still haven't seen a single episode, which is so wild and unlike me, but it's not going to be back on DC Universe. It's now just going to be on CW. So for those of you guys who don't know, currently it airs on DC Universe and then the next day it drops on CW. Now it's not going to be on DC Universe anymore. It's just going to be on CW for its second season. Let's talk about that because Doom Patrol goes to HBO Max. Stargirl goes to CW. The only thing still technically on DC Universe after Titans was canceled that's live action, after Swamp Thing was canceled, is Titans. Titans is the only thing that's really there now. So, interesting. This goes to my theory that there is no DC Universe anymore. They canceled our friends' DC Daily Show. They moved Doom Patrol off. They moved Stargirl off. They canceled Swamp Thing. Sounds to me like Harley Quinn is coming to HBO Max as well. Yes, thank you. I was going to call you Party J. That's the name now. It is what it is. And it's a bummer for comic book readers because DC Universe has been a great platform for that. But it's probably good for people who are watching because this shit's confusing. HBO Max and HBO Go and HBO Now and DC Universe. It's a lot of different platforms. But I will say that when Supergirl moved from CBS to CW, it actually got better. Stargirl moving, I still haven't seen it, but Stargirl moving from DC Universe to CW probably means it's going to get a little more campy. Probably means it's going to get its budget slashed a little bit. It probably doesn't mean positive things for the actual content. It will be another one of the DC like Berlantiverse shows, which I love, but they are what they are. So we will see. By the way, what the fuck is happening with the Black Canary show or the Canaries? No idea. Where the fuck is that? But anyway, Stargirl leaving DC Universe, probably not a good sign for DC Universe. If you're a DC Universe fan, it's probably not going to go very well for you guys, including myself. But at least we get to keep our content. It's just moving elsewhere. Jonathan Donsel says, Roxy, you going to love Stargirl. It's so awesome. That's what everybody keeps telling me. But it's hard to start something now that it's like, is it going to be good for its second season? I kind of was waiting to see. I don't know. I would be shocked if DC Universe stays around. Unless it wants to go down to being like $3 and it's just the comic books, which would be kind of cool. And I would definitely participate in that. So we'll see. But DC Universe fans, I think we're in trouble. Garth Harkness McMurray in the streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer said, to continue, I had a falling out with some people in this community because they hurt a friend and refused to apologize, saying they did nothing wrong. They could not see what they did wrong, just like my high school bullies. To them, it was just joking around. Garth, are you talking about in the Rockstar community? Or just interested to know what you're talking about. I'm sorry to hear you had falling out with people, but thank you for sharing. And I think that people make mistakes sometimes, and different people have different abilities to apologize or different thresholds of what joking around means. I don't know what we're talking about, so it's hard for me to really gauge, but I'm sorry you feel that way, and sounds like shitty. Ryan Payne in the super chat, thank you, Ryan, says, I believe Swamp Thing needs to be HBO Max. The CW is going to tone down the horror elements of the show. Having it on HBO Max will maintain the elements of the show we got in DC Universe. Whole Swamp thing was crazy though, because remember it was just canceled mid-show, and then there's all the issues, and then there's all the shit and the crap and the poop and the swamp. So we'll see what happens with Swamp Thing. People really did love it. But then I heard there might be another Swamp Thing movie. Did anybody else hear that? Did I make that up? We will see. The show's finished. They're just going to air TV to air episodes from the first season. Yeah. Party J. Am I allowed to call you that? Isn't that your nickname across the board now? Okay. Let's continue. Let's keep talking. Trump. Trump wants Bubba Wallace to apologize. This was the fucking tweet today. I took a screenshot of it. Just like, God damn it. Can he go one day without tweeting something so fucking offensive? Like literally one day. No, he can't do it. All right. Quote, has @Bubba Wallace apologized to all of those great NASCAR drivers and officials who came to his aid, stood by his side, and were willing to sacrifice everything for him, only to find out that the whole thing was just another hoax? That and flag decision has caused lowest ratings ever. And he capitalized hoax and he capitalized ever like a fucking child. Oh, I hit the mic because I'm so annoyed. So you think that they should have the Confederate flag there, Trump? You're our president. You're calling this a hoax? He didn't know. Anybody who doesn't remember, this is the Bubba Wallace situation. We're at his garage. There looked like what was a noose there, but really it was that something had fallen from the garage and just was like that. Just like shaking my head. He doesn't owe anybody an apology. He didn't do anything. He reported something that any one of us should report. When you see what looks like a noose tied around your garage when everything's going on in the BLM movement. How the fuck is that a hoax? And when you say another hoax, what are the other hoaxes? And why do you want a different flag than what your country's flag is at the game? It's just so stupid. Just, what the fuck? You can call me Party J. Roxy is a call sign that I got from being in general in the Action Army. I don't have to. Whatever you want. I was like, how do I know that even? Yeah. Yeah, and Glenn, thank you for reminding me. And he isn't even the one who reported it. It's like, come on. Our president is so fucking stupid sometimes. I say sometimes because I really mean all the times, but like, I guess nobody can be stupid all the time. Unless you can. Why would he apologize? Who would he apologize to? Now we're talking about apologies for people who didn't even, he could say thank you. Thank you to people who stood by me, but apology for what? There's nothing, you didn't do anything. And then it just wastes what apology means. We talked about apologies a lot in this episode. I don't know, maybe this is good karma. Maybe I'll get some of the apologies I deserve in the next few hours, days. Who knows? To whoever is accusing me of being high, you guys know I never, ever am high for these shows. So, no, my eyes aren't low. I don't even know what you're talking about. Maybe because I haven't been sleeping. Everybody always says that. It's so fucking annoying. Chris Martinez in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer says, hey, Roxy, hope you're having a great day. Star and I are sending you all the love and support. Really appreciate that. Obsessed with you and Star. Why is your name spelled differently now, Chris? Curious about that. Just curious. Let me know. Let me know. No, he's stupid all the time, says Brandy. You said it, not me. God, I guess you can be stupid very, very fucking often. And he proves that all the time. He just continues to prove that. So, Bubba, if you're listening to this, which I'm sure you're not because you got better things to do, don't apologize to anybody ever when you didn't do anything wrong. Period. 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 Okay. Moving on, guys. That's the news for the day. That's the news for the day. So, Morse Code Z on that said all the NASCAR garages have pull ropes of some kind. It's in all stadiums. Only one was tied into a noose. It was just done last October for some reason. That's why NASCAR's investigation showed. Yeah. Yeah, I know Morse Code. I saw all that. It makes sense why people would think that. It makes fucking sense. So, God, don't apologize for something you didn't fucking do. Anyway, before we get out of here, let's do a little Roxy's advice corner, shall we? Look how I should put on my glasses for this. Just picture me in glasses, pushing them up and giving all of my wisdom. Why is this my wisdom voice? Oh, we don't know. Just sometimes when you think about smart people, don't you feel like they talk a little bit like this, where they want to explain to you the things that are happening in the world so that you can really break them down and understand what is taking place? Who knows who the fuck that just was? She came right through me. All right. I can't with his voice. Pink Sweets. Me neither. Who do you want to be in the world? I think that this is a little less specific than yesterday, but I think about this often. Who do you want to be in the world? And thinking about what the answer is for each of us. Everybody thinking about who they want to be in the world. And often I think about what that means that I want people to say at my eulogy, or what I wanted to say on my headstone, what you want people to say about you, and trying to live your life and act based on those things and make your decisions that way. So if it's really important to you that you're remembered as a great friend, then every day when you have the decision to make whether or not to show up for your friends, you got to show up. If you want to be remembered as an honest, loyal person, you got to live by your word, because you don't just get remembered some way, or you're not just a certain way in the world if you don't actively make those decisions every single day. And so, as an exercise for you guys and to me, I think it's important to write down a few sentences about who you want to be in the world. One of those could be about in regards to your family and friends, if that's important to you. One of those could be in regards to finances, if that's important to you. Career, if that's important to you. Religion, if that's important to you. Philanthropy, if that's important to you. And think about genuinely who you want to be and what you want to be said about you while you're here and also when you're gone. Do you want to be remembered as the person who made decisions only for themselves, and when things got tough, they ran? Probably not. Do you want to be thought of as the person who shows up for people all the time? And even if that means taking a hit on your own life, sometimes, is that how you want to be remembered? Do you want to be remembered as somebody who gave away every dollar that they had to help other people? Do you want to be remembered, or do you want to be known as, because it's not just about when you die, it's also about when you're here. Do you want to be known as reliable and somebody that your boss can call for anything? Do you want to be known as somebody who is incredibly creative or innovative, who invented something? Thinking about how you want to be seen by the world and then making every decision in your day based on that. So if, say, your things are you want to be remembered for being there for your loved ones is one of the main things that you want, then don't forget that when they call, you got to show up, because you don't just get remembered for something if you didn't do it. So for example, okay, Brandy, let's take yours for a second, babe. Our girl Brandy, who we absolutely adore. I just want to be known as good, kind person, someone who's helped others the best I can, someone like my dad was known as. I think those are all beautiful things. I think that if you want to be known as good and kind, then in your day-to-day, anytime you're thinking about not being good or kind, you're thinking about doing the bad thing, or you're thinking about blowing up on somebody, even if they deserve it, remind yourself that the thing that's motivating you is to be good and kind and who can help other people the best that you can. So that means when people ask for help, you give it to them. Unless it's incredibly harmful for you, you give it to them. And I have similar things about wanting to be like my mom in a lot of ways, because really what you want to do is you want to make them proud. And so think about, when you're making choices in life, what would make him proud? And I think that would be a helpful way to make decisions, because I don't know if you guys are like me, but I do struggle sometimes to make decisions when choices are in front of me, because every day, everything is a choice. Every single day, you have to choose. Do you wake up or not? Do you brush your teeth or not? Do you stay in your relationship or not? Do you go to the grocery store? Do you help your parents? Do you do something great for your kids? Every day you've got to make these choices. And I think you want to be thought of, because Leg Alt Land, I don't want to be remembered for anything that implies I'm dead. I'd like to be thought of, which I agree. It's also about how, when you're on this planet, but it's both things, as loyal, kind person who can be called on. I love those things. So if you want to be loyal, remember, you got to be fucking loyal. And if you want to be somebody who can be called on, then you got to show up when you're called. And I'm sure you're doing those things. But for everybody, when you're making these choices, think about your things. Even if you have to write them down, one in every category. What do you want to be when people are talking about you? What do you want them to be saying? Let's see. A rule I follow online is never comment in chats on Twitter or Facebook saying something you wouldn't say directly to the person in person. I like that. So you got to follow that, and I like that. I think that's a really good one. Totally. Yeah. Going back into the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Thank you, Lloyd Nance, for the support. I appreciate it. And going to Glenn Caesar, he said, LOL, Roxy, Trump seems bound and determined to disprove your theory that you can't be stupid all the time. I LOL, but unfortunately, it's not actually funny. Just really sad. Anyhow, here's to having a lot more fuck yeah moments in the days/weeks to come. From your mouth to whoever's ears. I hope so. I hope so. I like this comment from Al Moses 210, who says, my brother always had a saying, folks will give you flowers when you're dead, but no soup when you're sick. Showing up is so important in life. Yeah, I'm somebody who will bring you soup, and that matters to me. That's something about me. And sometimes that means that I don't get to do as many things for myself, or sometimes it means taking a little longer in my career or whatever, but that's who I want to be, and I'm really proud of that person. So I have to make my choices like that. And I think that's interesting. Yeah. So hopefully that sticks with some of you guys. Again, some of this advice might not be relevant to you or for you or whatever, but these are just my thoughts, and I'm trying to incorporate them a little more into the show. if you guys have any questions, any things that you're looking for advice on, or anything that you think would be helpful to know my thoughts on, then feel free to ask. Happy to help. And yeah. All right, that's it for the show today. I'll be back tomorrow, 1 p.m. live at the Roxy, probably with Steph because I think she'll be back in the city. I'll keep you guys posted on that though. And then I do see in Discord that a lot of you guys that are my patrons have given me names that you want me to reach out to. And I'll be looking at those and reaching out to a lot of those for weeks to come. So thank you guys. And yeah, that's it for today. Stay safe. Think about what you want to be known as. Write them down and try to make your decisions based on those things. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, 1 p.m. live at the Roxy.